The topic of this video is the Social Security payment schedule for May 2024, which includes retirement disability, SSDI survivors, spouses, and SSI beneficiaries. Let's dive into it and go over all the specifics, okay? It's about to be another month. And you know what that means. It's time for you to get paid once more. However, May is scheduled so that in comparison to other months, you will get paid somewhat earlier this month, and that is precisely what I want to draw your attention to. It lists all of the dates on which checks will be sent to more than 71 million recipients, including the ones I highlighted at the beginning of this video. If you've been watching the films on the channel, you should know how fantastic this is. As you are aware, I have always preferred this arrangement because it allows us to receive our payments much earlier. For fixed income beneficiaries who depend on these monthly checks, every day counts at the moment. Currently, things are quite difficult, especially given the high prices that we have been facing for the past several years. As a result, every day matters. Thus, for many people, receiving payment early is a pleasant relief. However, I fully understand that these payments, most likely, you're not receiving nearly as much as you actually need at this time to put adequate food on the table, pay the bills, electricity, petrol for your car, and put clothes back on your back. I understand everything that is happening, but either way, okay, let's get started and discuss the specifics of the May payment schedule, as well as when the millions upon millions of recipients will begin receiving their checks. If you haven't already, thanks for joining me. Thus, please make sure you hit the huge subscribe button down below, which is completely free to do. If you haven't already, do it now. I'm always available to support you and advocate for you on everything. Once more, just being here for you every day. It's a difficult time out there and we need to stick together right here in this community. Thank you so much for keeping you updated on everything and for researching everything so you don't have to. Thank you so much for watching. And feel free to use the share button below to send this video to your friends on any of my social media accounts. Now that you're here, let's speak about the specifics. As you heard me say earlier, May is not my favorite month, even if I do like it a lot. The reason for this is because the calendar changes every month. Because is why May is not my favorite setup when the month goes like this. I would like to draw your attention to this because the dates on which you get paid vary greatly. In fact, even a small adjustment to the calendar could affect how much you get paid early or late, as much as 7, 6, or 7 days, which is enormous. Alright, so here's the thing. May is a great month. Let me clarify the specifics now. If you are an SSI beneficiary, you will receive payment immediately on the first of the. This obviously occurs every month, unless the first of the month falls on a weekend or holiday, which is not the case here in May. However, it is arriving on Wednesday, which is the 1st of May. That's a perfect arrangement, and I'll explain why. It will just take a moment, but this is for people who are on SSI, have been getting benefits before May 1997, or receive concurrent claims, that is receiving both Social Security or SSDI and SSI at the same time. That is known as concurrent claims. Then, as I mentioned, you will be paid on either the 1st or the 3rd of the month, which also happens to be a Friday. Alright, so that concludes the first batch of checks that we will be issuing to SSI beneficiaries in around 8 weeks, million people, and then naturally, the 3rd Friday of the month, which is also a workday and not a holiday. This is the day that you will receive your payments as well. Alright, so let's move on to the Wednesdays. The remaining beneficiaries get paid on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesdays of the month. Keeping in mind that the 1st Wednesday of the month falls on a Wednesday, this implies that the 2nd Wednesday of the month is if the 1st of the month had fallen on a Thursday, which is my worst setup, and I detest that arrangement at all. It could have been disseminated a full week later. However, it is already landing on the 8th of the month, so that's really wonderful. We receive payment 6 days later, which is fine. But let's talk about May and how this is all set up. The first month is Wednesday, so you will receive payment much earlier. Similarly, the 2nd Wednesday the month is already arriving on May 8th, which is the 2nd Wednesday of the month. Since payments are arriving much earlier, May 8th is reserved for those whose birthdays fall between the 1st and the 10th of the month. This means that if your birthday falls between May 1st and May 10th, your payment will be dispersed on the second Wednesday. What an amazing setup that is! Let's go on to the following Wednesday. It is Wednesday the 3rd of the month, and today is May 15th. That's right. This is the third Wednesday of the month, and this is the day that payments are due to those who were born on the 11th or 20th of the month, assuming your birthday falls between those dates. If your birthday falls between those dates, May 11th, 20, you will receive your payment on the third Wednesday of the month. Since May 15th is your birthday, you will receive your payment for the third Wednesday of the month already. Wednesday, it's Wednesday 3 already, and payments are already being made to these people. Now here's another interesting fact about May. There are 5 Wednesdays in May: the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. This is interesting because we don't get that many Wednesdays that we have 5 Wednesdays in one month. But for May we do, since the first day of the month fell on a Wednesday, which is why, alright, so nevertheless, the third Wednesday, which is the 15th of the month, is... For those of you who are born between the 11th and the 20th of the current month, let's extend the deadline by 7 more days, to May 22nd. On this day, those of you who are born between the 21st and your payments are due on the 31st of the month, which is the 4th Wednesday of the month. Additionally, this is the 22nd of May, so all beneficiaries will be covered by this. There are currently 71 million and growing closer to 72 million people who obtain monthly income from Social Security. This is the day on which your payments will come. Occasionally, they receive inquiries about the specific method of delivery, so they will use the same one that you have been using. You've been receiving your payments normally, unless you've changed your payment method over the last few months. Your payments could be deposited into a bank account, checking account, savings account, or even a direct express card. Your method of receipt. Okay, so your receiving technique. But once again, that will only apply to your particular circumstances if you are someone who has completed this task during the last few months here. That being said, I will say that this is probably very uncommon. There may be an occasional exception, but this is really a very small portion of the population. The great majority of people will continue to receive their payments in the same manner that they have for the past however many months or years. Like this. Okay, so moving on, I've been fielding inquiries like this one since the beginning of the year, and some of them have said, "I never got my COLA. You should have had your COLA wait a long time ago." Okay, your January payment should have included COLA. Now, if you haven't received your COLA yet, you ought to have contacted Social Security several months ago. However, here's the thing. I don't actually believe that individuals are experiencing this problem. Allow me to clarify for a moment. Are not getting their COLAs, but here's what I do think is going to happen. You did get your COLA, but it was so tiny, and the Medicare Part B premium increased by, around 6% or $9.80, which is almost completely eating away at it. All of your COLA, giving the impression that you have none at all. In reality, though, you most likely did have some. You're likely simply losing it all due to the Medicare Part B premium, which essentially takes everything away. Does that make sense? This is what I have for you. This is the payment schedule, which should be highlighted in the papers you received in December of last year. You can also check everything there by logging on to your Social Security account for the month of May, and this is yet another fantastic setup. I hope this helps you as always, and if it hasn't already, please subscribe below. You can also share the video on my social network pages with your friends.